My family, hey, I greet you. Welcome to another new Truth of the Church with your brother Joseph. So I've been receiving messages from you. Some of you have been sending me videos, concerning some of these things which are, on social media, concerning what could be the cause of these fires, that are actually taking place in LA, California, and these other places. So before we get into that, let's first listen to some of these prophecies that some of you were sending to me.
Recently, the Holy Spirit began to tell me about a certain plan. There's an evil plan to destroy a major city. I'm not going to mention the city because I don't want anybody panicking. You have to know that you can actually do something about your city, your country. You pray especially for your city and other cities of the world because they want to do major damage. This is through the weaponization of geoengineering and self-replicating smart nanorobots, nanobombs that will cause extreme devastation. The plan is to destroy so many with floods and fire. And with those kinds of fires, the place is left so devastated you don't find the frames of the buildings then. That's more like natural fire. Those kinds of fires, the place is left so devastated, you don't find the frames of the buildings then. That's more like natural fires. So where are the frames? Where is any? When I give you prophetic information to prevent you from suffering the
country, and water will be a new gold rush. So he said, as much as my people are busy looking for objects that look like they are precious, but have no real value when it comes to life, there is one thing that nations will fight for, and it'll be water. So as many will begin to move for water rights, and they'll be more popular, more powerful than what you think Bitcoin is right now.
Wow.
And I understand, that's why I said to you, some of the things I'm saying here are not really probable. So there were going to be water wars, where water, the very thing you see every day, the very thing you play with every day, the very thing you fill your tubs and spend an hour in there bathing, that same liquid will become very, very difficult. And this war is starting this year. And as we keep on moving, 2026, 2027, it becomes very, 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 very open.
So the first speaker that was actually Pastor Chris Oyakilome, and yes, the prophecy has to do with the fires and other disasters that may happen, later on this year. So the first prophecy, yes, very, very credible. And then the next one, very credible also, prophecy from Troy Black, based in the United States of America. If you check out his YouTube channel, he mainly posts, about prophecies, what God is saying. And then the other speaker, that's Prophet Uebert, and you sent this to me, saying the crisis that had to do with water, especially when it had to do with putting these fires out, and actually see how this prophecy also fits in. So there are some other prophecies that you were sending to me. If you send me prophecies, right, what I actually do is I try to look for live services where I can actually track where this prophecy was spoken. If it's not a live service, if it was not from a live service, at least give me enough evidence that this prophecy was released days prior. All right. So that's how I just do my things. I don't just post stuff. Okay. Thank you. So moving on, there are a lot of conspiracy theories that we are actually seeing out there. But for a fact, there are some truths, especially this one.
My first piece of advice to you is let's take care of our mental and physical health first before we embark upon what is going to be a journey to rebuild these communities back and rebuild them better than they were when we started this fire.
talk about a person who just exposes himself and people he works with. This actually confirms what Pastor Chris was saying here.
There's an evil plan to destroy a major city in the world. The plan is to use, through cloud seeding, create rains with lightnings, and then the use of nano weapons, nano bombs, that will cause extreme devastation. So people are going to think it's climate change, but it's not climate change. And they're doing it for two reasons. Number one, they want to test their abilities at a larger scale, which they've already tested and it's worked. But now they're going to send it as a great warning to the world that they mean business about climate change. The plan is to destroy so many. Floods and fire. Floods and fire. Floods and fire.
So you see, he actually said it. So some of the conspiracy theories that are out there, let me just share them with you.
This doesn't make any sense. So I think that's where we're at now. And so I think people have woken up and are just like, yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it. Now, let me rattle off some of the interesting conspiracies around this. Conspiracy I saw was they want to build a smart city, and in the area they burnt everything down. They're trying to build a smart city, a 15-minute city. Another conspiracy, this train that California was building to nowhere all of a sudden is being built in and around the same areas that are being burnt down. That's another conspiracy, right? Another conspiracy, 8 Ukrainian generals' houses burnt down, mansions burned down in the Hollywood Hills. Why do Ukrainian generals
that's crazy
own houses in the Hollywood Hills? Now, I didn't personally go and verify this, but it seemed fairly legit. So what is going on there? And could it have been an attack?
Like a little Russian attack.
Perhaps.
On the Ukrainian generals.
On the Ukrainian generals' houses.
Wow.
Who knows?
We also have the comparison between LA and Lahaina, the Maui fires. Both burned/cleared extremely valuable seaside land, damaged much worse because of odd bureaucratic decisions, resulting in withholding of massive amounts of water. Fire hydrants went dry both times as a result. Underbrush systematically not cleared due to government policy. The grid played a role in the fire, with electricity left on in Maui and shockingly high number of grid faults before the LA fires. Can anyone add more points here? You can see this is they got Palisades and then they got Lahaina here. Very similar landscape and mapscape there. So a lot of people very skeptical of the institutions.
Yeah. And that sucks that like everyone is skeptical. Everyone is skeptical. Samantha said there's allegedly videos of people pouring gasoline in sewers. That sounds even more over the top. Newsom, all the reservoirs were full.
Yeah.
No, they weren't. Not the one in Palisades. Oh, well, I'm launching an independent investigation. He wants to lift all the environmental restrictions, suspend all the environmental restrictions to build back. Why not just suspend those environmental restrictions so we get the dang cost of living in California down? Why can't you build more houses, right? Then there's the pull up the guy. And again, I'm not trying to politicize this, but it definitely seems to be guy who was arrested walking around with a blowtorch.
Oh my goodness.
So this dude's going around with a blowtorch near the West Hills of California and got apprehended by, I don't know, was that other gentleman holding a firearm? The first gentleman was going. He gets apprehended. The police come arrest him. He's holding a blowtorch, and he's not charged with arson. And he's not here legally, and he has warrants, but wasn't charged with arson while he's holding a blowtorch near some of these areas that can spark off the fires.
These cops really pulled up too.
Pulled up quick.
Doors open while they're pulling out.
It's like the dude had a blowtorch.
He had like a.
Oh, that's a phone. He's holding a phone.
Phone.
Yeah.
Is this from this year?
Yeah. The dude had a blowtorch. You need him to have a flamethrower to charge him with arson?
That's crazy.
Right? So, the complete and utter failure. Now, what I'm not saying is like the police, because the police chief, people are like, oh, she's a woman. She's a DEI hire. I don't know her competency, but I know she's jumping out the window and being like, yeah, they cut my budget. I told them to not do that. How many interviews has she done? They cut my budget. They cut my budget. I told them not to cut my budget. They cut it by 17 million. They're saying, well, we didn't cut the budget. Well, we were negotiating parts of the budget, but this part of the budget was cut. So it's just like so much he say, she say stuff. Trump is saying, hey, you cut this water system that was supposed to get more water. Governor Newsom is saying, oh, no, I didn't. He's making it up. I didn't try to protect this type of fish, you know?
Yeah.
But there seems to be some sort of environmental things that he did to not allow these things to happen.
My family. So there are some other things that I can't say, but from what you are hearing, I think you can just, join some dots, join some dots together to come to the truth, to actually see the cause of these fires. Some things I can't say, our videos will be flagged. All right. But you can actually see, you can actually tell what is happening. So you just pray for your city, because these people, there'll be some other things that they'll be planning to do. Okay. So this is what I just had for you, just to share with you that the prophecies that I just shared with you, they showing us, the truth of what is actually happening. God spoke, starting from the plan that Pastor Chris revealed, and then you have Brother Troy Blake talking about something that will happen in 2025. We are seeing it. These are the fires. And we also move on to what Prophet Angel said, that, there's going to be a war of water that will start in 2025, move on to 2026, 2027, going on and on and on. If you hear what the things that are being spoken of here, there's kind of like a water crisis, a water war that's happening. So this prophet is actually say, yes, they are credible. So you just tell me what you think about this, my family. If there's any new information that you have concerning the fires, do hit me up on Telegram and tell me. But from what I just shared with you, you can just join 2 and 2 together to see that we actually know some of the people who are behind these things. Okay. So you just pray. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. God bless you.